In this video, we're going to talk about how to install sckernel on a Windows machine. This Windows installation guide assumes that SuperCollider has already been installed on your machine. So to begin, we need to install Jupyter Notebook through Anaconda. Go to www.anaconda.com. Click on Products and then Individual Edition. Click Download and download the latest version. Go to your Downloads folder and start the installation process. Go through the installation guide. Make sure to install For Just Me. Leave Add Anaconda 3 to my Path Environment variable unchecked. Do check Register Anaconda 3 as my default Python, and then whatever version of Python it is that you're going to download. Open Anaconda PowerShell prompt and type the following. You want to hit enter after each command. Pip install sckernel. Python -m sckernel.install. Now this is the main installation of sckernel. The only thing that we have left to do after that is to configure sckernel so that it can find your version of Python and potentially where SuperCollider can be found. So to do that, sckernel works by launching Python. In order to sync sckernel with the version of Python installed by Anaconda, we need to get the path of Anaconda's Python. So open up Anaconda PowerShell prompt and type the following. Python import sys, S-Y-S, and then I want you to print sys.executable. This is going to print out a path. This path you're going to need to save. So just keep it up, make sure that you don't close the window. Now hit Control-D to get out of Python. The other thing that I need you to check is ensure that sclang, which is the binary for SuperCollider, can be found by a Windows machine. So the easiest way to do this is to open up Command Prompt and then type the following command, where sclang. If you get a path as output, then there's going to be no problem with sckernel finding sclang. If you don't, then you're going to have to provide the path of where sclang.exe is installed on your computer. But for most Windows users, if you've installed SuperCollider properly, which is just by putting it in program files, this should be no issue. Okay, so let's make sure if that checks out, let's go ahead and configure sckernel. So all that we need to do is go back to Anaconda PowerShell prompt and type the following. Python -m sckernel.config -- python, and then that path that was printed out of where we can find Python. So copy and paste that and put it in quotation marks. Okay, and if this would be the moment also if sclang.exe was couldn't be found by the where command, then you would want to put -- sclang and the path of where sclang was if it wasn't installed in the typical fashion. Now we can go ahead and test to see whether this works. Go to Anaconda Navigator, click on Launch for Jupyter Notebook, click on New, and then sc_kernel to create a new SuperCollider notebook. Then a post window should pop open. Enter in a small snippet of code and watch the post window show the output. If you get output, then at this point you can be safe to know that everything has been installed properly. Just as an FYI, while working in the notebook, do not close the post window. You won't be able to get it back. So if that window is bothering you or you don't care about the output of SuperCollider, then just simply minimize it. Don't X out of it. And that concludes this installation guide.